Simpson. And Japan have gone absent without leave. This is Whitmore. Hall and Gale both available. It's still Whitmore. It is the Reggaeboyz who take the lead.
Ball chat. Greetings, football lovers. Welcome to Ball Chat weekly season finale, final show for the 24-2025 club season. My name is Benton. You know, I don't know, along with the family George, there's always club football going along. But this is where Ball Chat lock off. Ball Chat weekly lock off for the club football season. Wagwan family, final show for the day, for the season.
Yeah, final show for the season. Why, this year was a successful year. We grew from a Ball Chat perspective. It was really a successful year.
Well, we didn't do any Netflix series this year, so I don't know. We call that this is a regress year because Netflix series is a standard. Netflix series year is a standard year in year.
Meh, I guess.
But we grew in numbers. Big up to the family. Big up to those who decided to subscribe and join the Ball Chat media network. Welcome, welcome. You know, football family. You know, should we turn on the calling? Open the phone lines today, or should we just let it run?
You're Carlo. So make it run.
Make it run. If you don't want to call in, if people want to call in, make we know and you can call in. Final show because of course it won't be a call in on Wednesday.
The phone line opens. They don't want to call in, them calling.
All right, if they want to call in, them calling. All right, let's get to it, football family. And first and foremost, thank you for joining us. Always salute. Thank you for sticking with us through the year. Sometimes we got some things wrong and we corrected it, but sometimes we got some things right, and that's always our efforts here. At Ball Chat. So the fundamental things that we're going to cover today are EPL week roundup, season roundup. Let's bring back the ballers and bugs family. Ballers, if you have ballers of the season, bring them on. Bugs of the season, bring them on. Players, teams, whosoever you want to highlight, bring them on. We're going to celebrate those teams and those people that succeeded this year. And who need to do some better, we're going to say, yo, fix up. Serie A title race officially completed. We're going to talk about Scott McTominay, of course. Serie A MVP, which is, I found it strange, but big up to Napoli. We'll talk about the Scudetto title race and those teams that got relegated. Jamaica's Premier League is in the books. Historic, consecutive achievement for one Mr. Rudolph Speid and Cavalier. Rudolph Speid saying no inner feelings. This is business. Another important victory over Mount Pleasant. We'll discuss the Jamaican Premier League. Jamaican Reggaeboyz get ready for the Unity Cup. We'll discuss the squad. Ravel Morrison. A very, very honest discussion by coach Steve McLaren about Ravel Morrison as there's a segment of the Reggaeboyz fan base that keeps asking about Ravel. So we'll discuss some of the sentiments and comments made by Steve McLaren and other players in the squad. As the Reggaeboyz have already landed in England as they get ready for the Unity Cup. We'll look at the Reggae Girls squad getting ready for a USA friendly game. We'll preview Champions League final coming up, and we'll discuss Barca ladies succumbing to Arsenal in the Women's Champions League final. But we're starting off. EPL season finished, done, dusted. 20th top flight title for Liverpool. Junior, talk to me about this team and what they have achieved as we pull up the final EPL table for 2024-2025.
It's so easy to overlook the work that Arne Slot did this year at Liverpool, because Liverpool kind of are at this current moment, they are the standard bearers in English football, along with Manchester City. It is option A versus option B, or 1A, 1B. So it's kind of easy to overlook what Slot did. But it's not easy. I mean, Arne Slot had to come in, and I guess some of the credit have to go to Klopp as well for having a smooth transition, going over to a new coaching staff. And oftentimes when a new coach come in, either they try to do too much or they do too little. And Arne Slot seemed to have done just the right amount to get Liverpool to do better than they did last year. Because let's not forget, they surpassed what they did last year in terms of league finish, which is a great accomplishment. So that is hats off to them, hats off to the players for being professionals, because we can't just give all the credit to the coach. The players also had to be professional enough to say, okay, I love and respected Jurgen Klopp. Now I'm going to share that love and respect for Arne Slot. Even though the voices might be different, even though the philosophies might be different, we are going to buy in. And they stuck together and they survived the year. And more than survived the year, they won the title going away. So hats off to them. Everybody, the whole organization get a baller of the year for me.
I'm trying to go back through our notes here, to my notes or to old videos and see what we got right and what we got wrong. Do you remember how we picked and who did we pick to win the EPL this season? I don't remember who I picked. Did I pick Man City? I think I picked Man City, and so this is why they didn't win, because I salt them up. But who did you pick?
I more likely I picked Arsenal.
You picked Arsenal, so you definitely salt up Arsenal. So none of us had Liverpool. I want to say maybe Camon probably picked Liverpool coming in, right?
Probably.
Yeah, I want to say Camon was probably the only one. And by the way, big up yourself, Camon. We're just going back through our notes and looking at things that we got right. Yeah, I think I wasn't going to pick against Man City because they're the champions and they have to prove someone have to dethrone them. So that was the reason. You picked Arsenal. That didn't materialize. But as it stands for Liverpool, a bit of a surprise for me ultimately, with new coach, new environment, new tactics, new sort of landscape for the players, new voice. And as you said, players bought into that immediately. It's not a picnic group, a big man them, aka they're a mature team, and so it's not shocking that they bought into the message quickly. So kudos to the Liverpool front staff for finding the right fit, because you have to, when you're searching for a coach, you have to look for who will fit with the group that you have, especially with an experienced group. So kudos to Liverpool, ball off the way to Liverpool front staff for making the right pick. And Arne Slot seems like, wow, a ball handling glove or whatever. Very, very good fit. Ball off the year to Liverpool, but ball off the year to Ryan Gravenberch and Arne Slot. We cannot emphasize enough how much last year we did not see much of Ryan Gravenberch. He picked up a red card to wrap up the season, but he may have been the difference maker significantly in this season's title sort of a push, right? Because he's a player who rode the bench last year on the Slot, probably learned a lot, but this year a new manager, new sheriff in town, and he played and he delivered immensely in that sixth role and free up McAllister to be able to go forward and do the things that he does well. So ball of the year to Ryan Gravenberch. And Golden Boot winner man called Mohamed Salah. Did he win the Golden Boot, or did the Viking win?
That's a good question.
Yeah, we'll get the Golden Boot. Yeah, man, he must have won the Golden Boot because he was running for the record, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, man, Salah makes history with Golden Boot and Playmaker awards. So Mohamed Salah, outstanding year, and of course he's extended for 2 more years, 2 more seasons with the Red Side. So 20th title, nothing else I can say or can wax lyrical about this team.
Yeah, just a great season. and they put on their blinders. They didn't get into the passa with anybody. And there were moments where the wheels could have come off the rails a little bit, but they figured it out before things got in the public ear. Because there was definitely something with Darwin Núñez, and nothing came out. Endo could have become a distraction. Nothing happened with that either. So hats off to them.
Yeah, Salah won the Playmaker Award with the number of assists, most assists, and also with the Golden Boot. So first player in Premier League history to take both awards in the same season. So big up yourself, brother. Big up yourself. Big up all the Liverpool fans. Dalton, Fabi Frano, Walla Uno, Ty Gale. Big up on yourself. Big up the Natty. Big up on yourself. Outstanding season for Liverpool Football Club and all the fan base globally, all the fans globally, family. It's too early to say, but any bugs on this Liverpool team that you want to say?
It'll be too harsh. Well, no, actually, no. They were a strike away from really realizing their dream in Europe. I think they were
winning the treble.
Yes, I think they were good. Well, not even that, from winning another trophy. They've only gone with one. So
okay,
they are a strike away, and you can't. I know you like Darwin Núñez, but brother, you're paid to score goals, and you're not scoring goals. So we have to bring it to task. So if I had to be forced to pick a bug on Liverpool, I would say Darwin Núñez.
Yeah, Liverpool does have some work. Yeah, Darwin Núñez definitely missed quite a few chances this year. Liverpool does have some work, and we'll see how they go about it. Ibrahim Konate, big up yourself. Also, Virgil van Dijk, big up yourself. Excellent season. Let's see what Liverpool will do in the off season. But Darwin Núñez, only 5 goals in the Premier League, 30 appearances, 34 shots. That's not enough. No, sir, you have to fix that.
Well, for Liverpool, we all know that they've already reportedly signed Florian Wirtz. So from Leverkusen.
It's almost every day or every 2 days is a different story about where Florian Wirtz go.
Oh no, Liverpool.
Last week I did Man City. This week at Liverpool. Where will he go?
It was always Liverpool.
Okay.
It was always Liverpool. Man City was there to hijack it, but it was always Liverpool. After where did what the one from Spain name? The 6.
Zubamendi.
What that Arsenal side?
Zubamendi.
Ever since Zubamendi was announced going to Arsenal, Wirtz to Liverpool started to get together steam. Remember, Zubamendi said no to Liverpool and started the season. So ever since Zubamendi to Arsenal was all confirmed, Wirtz started to gather steam. Now, I guess in our transfer shows, when we start doing transfer shows, Real Madrid is going to be sellers this year. And Tchouaméni, Camavinga, those pieces will become available. So if you wanted Wirtz, there's always a Tchouaméni and a Camavinga option as well. So more to come on that.
Yeah, more to come. And as you have taught me over the years, I'm letting go with transfer until I see a man with shirt in the hand.
Yes.
Because Florian Wirtz, baller, excellent player. Liverpool definitely pound for pound leading the race. Let's see how that one pans out. Would be a huge player to add to that club. Definitely can play on both wings. Definitely a very skilled player. Very, very good. Very talented. 22 years old, so that's important. Very, very important. And I don't know if it's a sense of you have to offload some pieces first before you unload some pieces, or if you can do it simultaneously from a financial perspective for
I
Liverpool?
think they're fine. I think financially they're fine because they haven't. Remember, Jorginho left this year, and not Jorginho. Yeah, Jorginho left from Arsenal, but who left from Liverpool? Henderson left a couple years ago. I don't think they've replaced Henderson yet in terms of the FFP. And Henderson was pure profit. Um, the African one, what name?
Are you talking about Sadio Mane?
No.
Okay, well, Nambi Keita?
Namdi Keita. Keita left. They haven't replaced Keita yet. Because Gravenberch is more along Henderson replacement. So with Keita's money that is there, we all hear the rumors of Darwin Núñez. We all hear the rumors of Jota. We all hear the rumors of Endo probably going. There's more than enough space there to bring in a Verts. And them already bringing in the right back too. So
left Frimpong, but they also need a left back for Robertson. That's an essential piece to fill. Essential piece. So we will see how this one plays. But congrats to Liverpool.
Yes.
Arsenal finished the league in second, 74 points, third consecutive year. Play number 2. Man City in third. Chelsea, Newcastle round out the top 5 and Champions League spots, in addition to Spurs via the Europa League trophy. Talk to me about these 5 or 6 teams that are heading to the Champions League from the English Premier League. Financially, of course, is a big windfall for these teams.
And none of them are complete. All 6 teams have a lot of work to do if you really look at it. Man City has to get better by subtraction. Arsenal, we all know Arsenal's deficiencies. We just chronicle Liverpool. Chelsea might be, compared to all the other squads, it might sound funny, but Chelsea might be the most complete of all of them. Chelsea also needs a striker, in my opinion, but it's not dire straits for Chelsea right now. Chelsea have enough players. They have the quality. I think they just need a cohesion and they need a growth in direction. Let me word it that way. So Enzo Maresca has to become a better coach for Chelsea. But I think Chelsea, of all the teams, including Liverpool, have more answers than questions going in the off season, which is kind of funny. When you really think about it. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, joke. Speaking of Enzo Maresca and Chelsea, Enzo Maresca was quite confrontational at the post-match press conference at the conclusion of the City game. We know Enzo. This is just Enzo being Enzo. We saw at the beginning of the season how he came out with a bulldog sort of mentality with his club and his players. Wrapping up the season finale, he said, quote, "All the ones that have the truth and have the answer to everything." Let's back up for a second. Quote, "They were saying that we were not able to win on this pitch at Forest, that is, because we're too young, because we're not experienced. Unfortunately for them, they have all been wrong. All the ones that have the truth and have the answer to everything. So in English, how you say? F off to all of them, because the players deserve that. The effort they have been doing is fantastic," end quote. So basically, Enzo Maresca is giving a middle finger and a F off to all those who criticize or critical of his young Chelsea outfit throughout the season. Talk to me with the mad head coach, the emotional head coach.
How old is Enzo Maresca?
I think he's 40, 44, 43. I will pull it up here a second. We get Enzo Maresca. Of course, as an Italian, some Italians have hot blood, according to what I heard. 45 years old.
But he talks like he's 25. Newsflash, Enzo, Mr. Maresca, newsflash. The way you spoke about Chelsea is exactly the way Nuno was supposed to speak about Nottingham Forest if they had won. Nobody expected Nottingham Forest to beat Chelsea. Nobody with sense expected. So I don't know who the hell he's talking about. Nobody out there picked Nottingham Forest to seriously beat Chelsea on the last day with a game.
Actually, I put up my hands and I said I did. Because Nottingham Forest took 6 points off the best team in the land, Liverpool. Nottingham Forest drew with both Arsenal and Liverpool at the City Ground. They had a huge game at home against an emotional Pitney Chelsea, aka childish Chelsea. And yeah, so I had Nottingham Forest taking something out of this ball game.
I give you Nottingham Forest roster, and I give you Chelsea's roster as currently configured. Which one do you think is Champions League ready?
I mean, Chelsea is.
But nobody is going to bet. You wouldn't bet money on Nottingham Forest beating Chelsea. You wouldn't do it, better. No. Money? No. Come on. You're not going to sit here and tell us that you believe Nottingham Forest is better than Chelsea if both teams are focused and ready to play.
I picked Nottingham Forest to pull points off Chelsea today, knowing the magnitude of what. In fact, we probably call Cameroon now, and I wouldn't be surprised if Cameroon put $5 on Nottingham Forest herself.
A gambler.
We are all gambling out. So, and one of the biggest criticism we've had of Chelsea all year, in fact, when Chelsea was leading or at the top of the table or close to the top, what was the dialogue or the statements around Chelsea? We are not there yet. We're a young team. We're not title contenders. And of course, we have seen a team that went from gun blazing to just falling off the boil to now battling back at the end.
But who said we are not doing it? Who said that?
No, the coach and the players then.
No, but that's the thing. So who the hell is he talking to today? He must be talking to himself.
What? They might talk to we, him say we criticize him.
No, because when Chelsea was flying high, for me, or my personal rhetoric, I never sit there and say, they are going to fall off the wagon. We looked at Nottingham Forest and said, they're going to fall off the wagon. But none of us sat there and said, Chelsea going to fall off the wagon. No, not with that money that they spent, not with that quality of players. They have a squad of players that everybody run down except Cucurella. For Cucurella, they have a bunch of players that teams ran down, teams bid for. Nottingham Forest don't. There's nothing there to make me say Nottingham Forest deserve this over Chelsea. No, they don't. So what Mariska's saying right there, he's talking to himself. And this is his challenge for next year. Shut the hell up. If you stop creating this, you know what Mariska coming like them little stupid girls on social media.
Oh, why you never say stupid boys?
No, because the boys don't do it. Well, the boys them do it too, but when the boys do it, it comes with more. There's a lot more riding on it. But for the girls, you ever look on social media, I see some people that say, I have haters. Haters say this and blah, blah. I sort of like, who the hell is hating on you? Who? Yo, bad mind people. Like, what Jamaican people? Yo, dirty bad mind people. Who is bad minding you? Who is trying to stop you from making money? Who? Who you talking to you're on the phone? Yo, but no one don't like it. Who is them? Call name. Who don't like you?
I mean, you know.
Who don't like you? Right? So that is what Mariska is to me. Oh, you know, look, when you have a pit bull, you ever notice a pit bull or some dogs? The tails are smaller and the ears are smaller, right?
Yeah, if you kind of tame them, when you want to clip them.
Mariska need to clip the rabbit ears and just stop listening. You hear too much.
Hey, Well, I say, well, you know what? Horses are run at the track during competitive races. They put on the blinkers,
Blinders on
the
them, yeah.
blinders on, to prevent them from getting, oh, look.
If Mariska wants to keep his head forward, yo, we're looking at the English Premier League title. I'm not looking beside me.
But the same Marescas on the other side of his mouth said this at the post-match. He said, quote, "It was very tough. Man City lost here, Arsenal drew here, Liverpool drew here, and Chelsea won. It's not easy. The players showed how good they are, the effort they have put in. We're in a business where people will judge us because of the results. Probably after today, if we were not able to win the game, some people would have judged our season a disaster. But it was not a disaster. I've said many times before, this season was already good. We have gone from 12th 3 years ago and 6th last year to 4th this season, with the youngest squad in the history of the Premier League. So I am very happy." End quote.
You know, says a man that Benton. It's almost like he's listening. Him have one side of him head and the other side, and the other side, one side of him head talking like, yo, that's the youngest team. They should not be winning this game. And this side here, what is that? That's so weird. People out there saying we're too young. But you can't imagine you sit on in the locker room. Coach, and you just, yeah, yes, coach, yeah. Come on, bother all the bad mind people. Them say we're too young and we're not for make it. All right. Okay, you just said that, but it's okay. Let's go. That's Mariska chat too much, man.
Kudos to Mariska. I'm not give him a ball after week, but kudos for doing two things. Making Champions League something that the highly rated Mauricio Pochettino couldn't do or failed to do in his tenure at brief tenure at Chelsea, and also qualifying pretty much dominant in that conference league. You know, they've been very dominant against, quote, bug sides, inferior competition. And so you kind of see some of that Chelsea. I'm not going to say it's probably too, for lack of better word, but maybe that Chelsea swagger is returning. So if that growth continues and you supply this, you know, you do some subtraction and add in the right pieces, you could really catapult not just to Champions League qualification team next year, but to a title contending team. Because at some point you probably need to put an elder in this group, a mature person in this group, a couple players who have won titles in other places who can come and settle the foolishness around the group during the season, you know.
And that older player
and maybe that's where Bruno sorry, my bad, ignore, cause I almost said Bruno won titles, but not with nothing other than over Portugal. Did he win anything at Portugal?
Who?
Bruno Fernandes.
Bruno won the FA Cup a couple times at Man U.
Okay, fair enough. A couple times.
And did the Bruno, yeah. And did the Bruno win the Europa? No. He wasn't on that team.
He wasn't with the Jose side.
No.
Did Jose win the Europa title there?
Yeah.
The football heritage manager. But yeah, Chelsea finished the season Champions League spot. Big up to the group. Big up to them and their accomplishment. Final table standing. Any other thing regarding this EPL season that you want to take away, family? I mean, Arsenal, Aston Villa, Spurs, done right before the relegation. The three relegated teams. Talk to me in totality about these teams, because I would probably presume that their fan base their fans are probably thinking that this season was just failure.
For the relegation teams?
Relegation teams, Arsenal in number 2 again, Spurs in 17th, Aston Villa outside of Champions League.
I think we'll look at this a season from these teams' perspective as a season of missed opportunities. More so for Arsenal than Tottenham. I don't think Tottenham had much missed opportunities. They can't look at it as much missed opportunities because that's a difference between 16th and or 17th and what 12th, 10th. I mean, they're not going to get in the top five. But Arsenal can look at it and say, what could have been if money was invested right? Or what could have been if injuries didn't take its toll? Because I truly believe Kai, and as much as we don't like, as much as we joke about Kai, Gabriel Jesus and Kai being fit for the season is a difference of probably 6 points. I think they're worth about 6 points. Gabriel Jesus probably worth 4 points. Kai probably worth 2 points. Would that make a difference in the table? Not really, because Arsenal will be at 80 points unless 6 of those points come off from Liverpool, which could have made a difference, right? That's from the Arsenal perspective. The teams that got relegated, who you wanted to relegate. When you look at how the season ended, right? Look at the teams that are close to relegation. So you have, after Leicester, Ipswich, and Southampton, we know they got relegated, right? If that fan base was to say, we were so unfortunate, we missed a couple chances, who you wanted to get relegated? Look at the teams above, right above them. Tottenham, that won the Europa League. Wolves, well, maybe Wolves. And Man U, and West Ham. Who you want to take for that place? It's not like you had Fulham there and those traditional Everton that for the last couple of years that were fighting relegation. So the teams that get relegated, they just deserve to get relegated. What is that good enough? Because you'll have to go over some real heavy hitters to escape relegation this year. It wasn't going to happen. They were bound to get relegated. I just say it.
Farewell to a couple players, family. Kevin De Bruyne will leave Man City at the end of the season. Very decorated player, won everything with this football club. Your thoughts on his tenure with the light blue side of Manchester, as now he gets ready to exit. We don't know where he will end up.
Yeah, because rumor have it that Napoli, for some reason, Napoli is bidding for him, which kind of, to me, dampens Scott McTominay's year, but we talk about that. You know what Kevin De Bruyne signifies to me? When I think of Kevin De Bruyne, Man City, remember, Man City was dubbed the noisy neighbors, right? Yeah. And I think that was Fergie that said it. And they couldn't shake that. They just couldn't shake it. Even when they had their run before Kevin De Bruyne. I remember before Kevin De Bruyne, that was Yaya Toure, that was David Silva, that was Aguero and company, right? Remember, even when they were rising at that time, pun intended, when that blue moon was rising at that time, they were still seen as the nice neighbors. I think, even when Pep took over, I think it was the moment when Kevin De Bruyne famously said, took us 20 minutes to get ready for this team. I think at that moment was where Man City overtook Manchester United. Because remember, he famously said, we took 20 minutes or something like that to prepare.
We never really prepare for that.
Whatever, that was always Man U, when Man City ran Man U off the field. Oh, it just took us 20 minutes to prepare for them. And that brashness, that puff him chest out, he was the only player at Man City, in my opinion, that spoke with that bravado and back it up. There wasn't, you cannot point to any other player that had that cockiness to him and that cockiness to his game. And I think that is what Kevin De Bruyne really, that is his mark that he left. He is the one that really turned the tide. Apart from the obvious results, he's the one that turned the court of public opinion that Man City is the big side in Manchester. Because that comment lived on.
Yeah. Big up to BM said bugs of the season, Darwin Núñez, Demarai Gray, Shamar Nicholson, Leon Bailey, and Manchester United. Any ballers of the season there, BM, any ballers of the season? Kevin De Bruyne, Mark Ogden is reporting that he will open talks with Napoli next week. He's looking to reject move to Chicago Fire FC. So, you know, baller. I used to call him soft soap baller, but not anymore. Youth has earned his stripe. Big up yourself. From the Jamaican perspective, Aston Villa and Leon Bailey, what's your tea leaf reading regarding this scenario and this situation, this player? You don't want to touch it, or you just don't want? I mean, basically, it don't look very promising. I mean, at the end of the day, we don't know if he will be an Aston Villa player next year. Anything can happen, but the bottom line is that this is what, 4th season at Aston Villa. Last year was a good year. Now it kind of returned to the norm for Leon, and wish him all the best. But management and and agent have to out their work and make sure some secure a move for him if that's the plan.
Look, because we're a Jamaican-based podcast, a Jamaican-based show, that's the only reason why we're talking about it.
No, not the only reason. We're about to touch Abdullah Dakori in a minute.
But you start with Dakori. You start with Asensio. Did the Asensio move work out?
No.
Leon Bailey,
Good luck, Chippy. All right, Julian, I have nothing else to add. Good luck.
Because you see, the topic of the discussion is so polarizing.
Yeah. So what? You can't even be honest? Is that what you say?
No. Don't get me wrong. I will be honest. But yeah, I don't think it requires my honesty. I don't think it requires our opinion. Leon Bailey did not split votes this year. He did not split public opinion this year. He did not. We will sit down and we will say, Garnacho kind of get treated bad at Manchester United. You can't say that about Leon Bailey. We will sit down and we will say, boy, Phil Foden, ever since the Euros, and really never get the opportunity to slide back in, and then Marmoush come in. Maybe Phil Foden not get the opportunities. You can't say that about Leon Bailey. You cannot say that about Leon Bailey. So, if we want to have that discussion, we can have that discussion. But for me, the honesty is he wasn't good enough this year. He wasn't good enough. And you cannot blame the team, because the team had their PSG moment. They had their Champions League quarterfinals or semi.
Yeah. Quarterfinal, round of 16 or whatever. I don't remember.
Whatever it was, they had that moment. They had the opportunity to get to Champions League on the last day and wet the bed, and that player never come off of the bench. So it's either we're going to the coach and fight him, or him just not good enough. And you're going to have people that are going to sit down and light a fire against us now and say, yo, what bad mind you would. Tell me why would I be bad mind? Give me a reason why I'm going to bad mind Leon Bailey. Oh, you're hating on him. Why would I be hating on Liam Bailey? Oh, you're jealous of Liam Bailey. Why would I be jealous of Liam? Why would I be jealous of Liam Bailey and not be jealous of Garnacho? Oh, because he's a Jamaican. Okay. Why would I be jealous of Liam Bailey and not be jealous of Demari Gray? Why would I be jealous of Liam Bailey and not be jealous of Whisper? Why would I be jealous of Liam Bailey and not be jealous of any other Jamaican that we want? Warner, bro. Any other Jamaican that we want? Shamar Nicholson. He becomes so much of a topic of discussion, and his play doesn't match the discussion. It don't even worth talking about. I just feel like we talk two minutes too long about it.
Yeah. And another story, Junior line regarding Aston Villa and this Manchester United Villa game. Aston Villa put out a statement saying, quote, Aston Villa can confirm the club has written to the PGMOL to raise concerns over the selection process of match officials following today's game with Man United. With such high stakes surrounding today's fixture, the club believe a more experienced ref should have been appointed. Of the 10 referees to officiate across the Premier League today, Mr. Bramall was the second least experienced. The decision to disallow Morgan Rogers' goal, which would have given the club a 1-0 lead with the 17 minutes remaining in the match, was a major contributing factor to the club not qualifying for Champions League. As per the standards that have been established over the course of the season, a decision to whistle early is clearly inconsistent with current refereeing guidelines. VAR exists to ensure that these types of situations receive scrutiny they deserve. Unfortunately, the technology was not allowed to serve its purpose. Ultimately, we acknowledge that the outcome for us will not change, but we believe that it is important to address the selection methodology to ensure that high stakes matches are treated as such with regards to officiating and to ensure that the implemented VAR technology is allowed to be effective, end quote. Aston Villa club statement, family. And basically what I'm saying is that the referee whistle, and because of the referee intervened, VAR wasn't allowed to evaluate the thing.
There's nothing to evaluate. The ball went into his hands. He, regardless of what anybody wants to say, the player kicked the ball out of Bayenda's hands. Now, Bayenda is an idiot goalkeeper to even create that scenario on himself. But Aston Villa, shut up. You were down to 10 men. Man, you hit the post about 50 times, right? You did not deserve to win that game. So you can't look at it now and say, well, we'll take what a goal from we, and then right after that, Ahmad score 2 minutes after that. So if he didn't give us the goal, Ahmad would have never scored, and the game would have ended 1-0. Man, shut up, man. You had 90 minutes to beat an idiot Manchester United team. That Tottenham, that is 12 spaces below you, beat them couple days ago with 1 goal in the first 30th minute, and then shut up shop. Why you couldn't score a goal, Aston Villa? Now you have a reason to complain. You and your coach have a reason now to ask the fans for forgiveness. Because that's all that is. Now, instead of you blaming us for throwing away the game, blame the referees. Yo, it's the referee's fault. Look, Aston Villa fans, this year you had such a great experience in the Champions League, and because of my stupidity at the end of the game, well, actually no, because of the ref stupidity at the end of the game, they are taking away the Champions League experience from you next year. It's not us. It's not us. It's not our fault. It's not the players' fault. No. It is the referee's fault. Well, get away, man.
Aston Villa club statement on the decision to overturn or not give the goal. Aston Villa ended out of Europe Champions League spot in the Europa League spot. All right, before we leave the English Premier League, family, final wrap, final say for by the way, BM did say his ballers of the season, Napoli and Matteo Retegui. Yeah, the brother there, the Golden Boot winner from Serie A. Final wrap for the EPL season, family, before we take over yourself.
A successful season overall, filled with parity, and it's set up next year nicely because you have teams that are in positions that they are not used to, and they are going to start off from that position next year. You have teams that are trying to rebuild. You have teams that are trying to maintain. You have teams that are trying to prove. So from a overall perspective, it's a successful season. Exciting season getting set up for next year because I see a lot of teams bouncing back next year. So overall, a good season.
You said that last year about Arsenal too.
Well, actually, Arsenal
at the end of the season last year.
Arsenal just stayed level. Arsenal didn't go up. Arsenal didn't go down. Arsenal just stayed as Arsenal, and that was their problem. And they needed to jump a little bit higher.
We have watched the space regarding coaches and everything. Of course, Nuno, Enzo, my brethren over Tottenham, Andre Postecoglou. So we could have gone on for hours regarding the EPL and things to watch, but we have a whole half season to do that. We did receive a big tune in the season though. And Junior, since this is our final talk or discussion about the EPL for now and the season, we have to bust this tune one more time again. What do you say? One more time again, play this tune.
Go ahead, because it don't apply anymore because the women take over, so.
Yeah, but we are giving the artists a big up.
Lord of mercy. Oh, yeah. Jesus Christ. The season nice. Yo, let me tell you about some fans where they loaded. Enough of them me used to go to school with. When you ask them when last them win a trophy, a invincible talk them a run with. Yo, Arsenal is like a Netflix series, cause them not study practical nor the theories. Almost $1 billion them invest in a players. Me know you watch the news and the stories. Another trophyless season. Another trophyless season, Lord. Another trophyless season. Arsenal with a trophyless season, Lord. All Arteta out there speak bull crap. He never win, him just love the second spot. Back at delusional fans with a coach where deluded. You know what Arsenal that. Cause another trophyless season. Another trophyless season, Lord. Another trophyless season. Arsenal with a trophyless season, Lord. Dedicate this to Netflix FC, cause every year at the next season them pray. Me can't believe say Arteta things said them are the best team what year when them a play against PSG. Cause every year them a find excuses, and them delusional fans exclusive. Them say a injury, why them never win the title this year. That's why me know them deluded. Another trophyless season. Another trophyless season, Lord. Arsenal with a trophyless season. Every year is a trophyless season, Lord. Them better hope set Tottenham now win a trophy.
Tottenham won a trophy. Yeah, Tottenham won a trophy.
Yo, big up Manager General.
Big up Manager General. BF7 put up a tune. Last time for the EPL season 2024-2025. Big up to Arsenal fans, because we have only for Arsenal fans subscribe to the channel. And we love. But we'll get to the Women's Champions League here in a second. So just go on in a minute I come. But one more time again.
Lord of mercy. Oh, yeah. Jesus Christ. The season nice. Yo, let me tell you about some fans where they loaded. Enough of them me used to go to school with. When you ask them a when last them win a trophy, a invincible talk them a run with. Your Arsenal is like a Netflix series, cause them not study practical nor the theories. Almost $1 billion them invest in a players. Me know you watch the news and the stories. Another trophy-less season, another trophy-less season, Lord. Another trophy-less season. Arsenal with a trophy-less season, Lord. All Arteta out there speak bull crap. He never win, him just love the second spot. Back at delusional fans with a coach where deluded. You know what Arsenal that. Cause another trophy-less season, another trophy-less season, Lord. Another trophy-less season. Arsenal with a trophy-less season, Lord. Dedicate this to Netflix FC, cause every year at the next season them pray. Me can't believe say Arteta things said them are the best team what year when them a play against PSG. Cause every year them a find excuses, and them delusional fans exclusive. Them say a injury, why them never win the title this year. That's why me know them deluded. Another trophy-less season, another trophy-less season, Lord. Arsenal with a trophy-less season. Every year is a trophy-less season, Lord. Them better hope set up now win a trophy. Our man, you know win another trophy. Me know them no want Chelsea for win a trophy. Second grat, Newcastle with the trophy. Look like some Man City a go win a trophy. Liverpool don't take Premier League trophy. When you shout buckle jobs, you know who that be. Another trophy-less season. Arsenal with a trophy-less season, Lord. Another trophy-less season. Arsenal with a trophy-less season, Lord. Jesus Christ, when we watch it.
Yo, big up to Manager General, big up to the family, big up to Arsenal fans. Geraldo Haynes, big up your damn self, big up to all the Arsenal fans. Reggie, big up, big up, big up, big up. Countryman, Arsenal till them die, big up yourself. We have to respect and love for Arsenal fans. Just next year, Netflix FC. Arsenal ladies family, Champions League final. Arsenal ladies did the unthinkable, defeated the big dog, big bad Barca. Junior, yo, ball of the week, ball of the year to Leah Williams in that Arsenal defense, and of course ball of the week and to the goal scorer Black Stenios, but. Impressive. Second, 18 years since they last won the Champions League title. This is second Champions League title for Arsenal ladies. Family, talk to me. For Arsenal, what an achievement Arsenal ladies to defeat this big bad Goliath in the terms of women's football.
Big accomplishment, and they did it their way. And it's not like Barcelona got close. Barcelona had their moments until within the last third. And Arsenal still maintained a level of attack, a level of threat going forward. And it paid off in the end. I don't think it was unlucky. I don't think there was anything lucky about it. I don't think Barcelona can feel hard done. There wasn't any cause that went against them or anything like that. Arsenal just played to their strength, played to their game plan, and executed well.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, it's a couple things we want to point out. Big up to all the ladies. Big up to women's football players all across this planet. Because when you sit down and watch women's football, you don't have the diving, you don't have the simulation, you don't have the acting, the trying to entice the referee to give like these calls. And watching that final yesterday, it was a joy to sit down and watch football players just competing, going into the tackles, not letting up. Yo, it don't matter, you're bloody, strap them up and let's go. Big up to Arsenal. I thought they were outstanding. They nullify Barca. Barca wants to pass down the middle. They push Barca wide with Graham and was it Pinar on the left side. And I thought that Arsenal defensively was outstanding. Rene Slegger, big up yourself. Russell, the forward for Arsenal, held up play was great. Mariano at the end helped manage the situation, because once Arsenal scored in the 74th minute. And to be honest with you, Barca had a lot of position. You know, there was a deflection that hit the post, but I cannot remember consistent chances where Arsenal goalkeeper was under duress, which is normally typical against teams that play against Football Club Barcelona, ladies. And I think this is a testament to this Arsenal team.
Exactly. And Kim Little put in a shift. Kim Little is over.
Yes. Baller of the week to Kate Little. Baller of the week, because she put in a shift. I think one time it come like she had a cramp up, but she was like, and I think that was the mentality of this. The Arsenal men could learn a thing from Arsenal ladies.
Yep, 100%.
Big up, excellent. Yeah, and I think that the achievement was just more profound from the fact that they defeated Lyon in the semi-finals against the odds, because Lyon is the big side. You know, not only they defeated Lyon, they won against Lyon on the road, if I'm not mistaken, and end up winning that tie 3-2. They celebrated, but they realized, look, we have bigger fish to fry. We have to play against Barca. When you look at Arsenal men's team, they defeated Real Madrid. And we discussed this in our Carlin show a few weeks ago. When the men's team defeated the Royal Whites, Real Madrid, they celebrated as if they won the Champions League. Whereas the women's team said, you know what, this is a great achievement, but we have other things to do. And they moved on. So, ball of the week to the Arsenal ladies. Big up on yourself. Champions League trophy. First time since in 18 years for this team. Big up. And this is good for women's football. Big up. Sarah, we know say we want to run the show an hour, but we never do an hour show, Junior.
Yeah.
Sarah, title race. I think I saw a news just posted from you. You just posted a message about Antonio Conte. What's going on with Antonio Conte family?
He's set to leave Napoli, and Maximum Allegri is set to take over at Napoli.
What? You see that? Well, I guess Antonio Conte and the owner of Napoli, they deserve each other. There's two miserable people.
Remember there were ads 2 years ago. We even had the shows. I was saying, who is going to get fired after Conte? We thought Conte was odds on to be fired.
But this is his first year at Napoli.
Yeah, remember, he had the big bust up with the order. So Conte temperament is one of, you can't see Conte staying at a club for too long. He just doesn't have the mentality. He once everything is good, he's a great coach. But if things get out of line, he does not have the temperament to smooth things over. That's who Conte is.
This brings a whole nother elephant in the room now, Junior, because he signed a 3-year deal, and congrats to Napoli. And he not only signed a 3-year deal, Antonio Conte that is, he also was the cornerstone for the removal of some key pieces at Napoli. Victor Osimhen got ushered out because he wasn't part of Antonio Conte's plan. And, Victor Osimhen now is on loan. Conte brought in Romelu Lukaku. So what? Them are going left with Romelu Lukaku now? I lead the line for them. Their baller, Cavalier, decided say he want to take away himself soon as Antonio Conte reach. So you've lost or potentially lose 2 gems because Antonio Conte take away himself.
But every team goes through an overhaul, right? So it's not that big of a deal. But wasn't Osimhen at Napoli too?
Yeah, Osimhen was. Yeah, he's on loan. He's on loan at the Turkish club Galatasaray.
So his future has to be sorted out too. And Allegri is not that far off from Conte in terms of coaching style. So they're not losing.
Allegri,
Allegri was the one who took over from Conte at Juventus, or was it the
yeah,
other
he
way?
got ran out of town at Juventus because it's the same stupidness. It's like the team wasn't winning and he kept coming up with these same excuses after excuses. And we know the old lady has connections with the referees association. So even if we have utilize the connection and we now win ball games, how is it this brother keep coming up with excuses and excuses? Maxim Allegri, I know you get rewarded with a Napoli job, potentially.
Winning Napoli job. So there's no other way for him to go now than down.
Nah, man. I wouldn't do that. But I love Napoli for a couple of reasons. And I really have a soft place in my heart for Napoli. Not for the owners of Napoli, not for the current owner, because of statements that he has made about players that plays in the African combination. I love Napoli because of Diego Maradona and what they did in the 80s. And you know, that is my love for that club, where it came from. But the current owner, I don't really care. So whatever happened to Napoli now happened to them. But talk to me about the Scudetto. Napoli won, defeated Inter Milan. Ended up 82 points, final standing. Inter second, 81 points. Atalanta and Juventus runs out the top four. Roma, top four for Champions League. Roma in Europa League spot. Fiorentina in Conference League. Empoli, Venezia, and Monza relegated. Last week we went and look at length at who might get relegated. Empoli and Venezia decided, so the boy then we take it and go home.
Yeah, and I mean, this Scudetto, you have to look at it as a renaissance for Scott McTominay getting player. How ironic, getting player of the year, and you never even start the year there.
Yeah, and that's impressive by Scott McTominay.
Yep.
I mean, and one of the things that that we notice about Scott McTominay is those runs into the box, those late runs into the box, especially on those crosses. And I mean, they became a very huge part of what Napoli was doing in terms of trying to win football games. He did score a beautiful goal in that game on Friday to help secure the title. So Scott McTominay now is kind of edged in Napoli's folklore. You remember a few years ago it was Victor Osimhen and Keva. I get the true crown and them have because in Naples they love like draw up a bunch of mirage or whatever upon the wall. So them man they probably I get put upon the wall too. Imagine that. Scott McTominay I get put upon the wall. A Napoli.
And I am very happy for him. He was being used at Manchester United in a position that he just couldn't play. He couldn't play as a double pivot. He's just not good enough in the double pivot. Like you say, he just want to make runs into the box and be that extra striker. That's what he does well. It's just that you had Bruno at Manchester United that was eating up all that space. So Scott wasn't really was a surplus there at that point. So he found joy at Napoli, ironically in an identical system to what Ruben plays, 3-4-3. And the man finding joy there. So happy for him. Now, when Allegri comes in, hopefully he can adjust because again his role is going to be asked to change. So, but happy for him.
Before we leave the Scudetto, by the way, Matteo Reggieri won the Golden Boot. That is the name I was trying to pronounce earlier. We can't take ourselves without taking a look at Como, the rise of Como, and AC Milan. It's like two teams, one finishing 8th, AC Milan, and Como 10th, going in opposite directions. What needs to happen for AC Milan to recover?
The same thing that's happening at Manchester United. They just need to just rebuild. Stop trying to fix it. There is no fixing. Just shut it down, restart. Like when like when you have a computer problem, or if you have like a software issue and you have some work and you can't save it, right? And you say you try everything in your power.
Yeah.
Save the work. When everybody telling you, look, just shut it down and restart. And if you shut down and restart 4 hours ago, that's 4 hours you can take to recover the work that you were doing. You can do over the work that you're doing. But every second you waste, every day you waste, every hour, every time, every week, every month, every transfer window you waste, you're just making it worse and worse on yourself. At some point, you have to pull the plug, do a hard reset, and start from the ground up. That's what AC Milan need to do. That's what Manchester United doing. AC Milan hasn't gotten that bad yet, But they are on their way there. And like I said, they and Como are going in 2 different directions. Hats off to Fabregas. Will Fabregas last at Como? Will he be just like what happened with Xabi Alonso, even though Alonso left winning a title? How much longer does Arteta have before another favorite get called? Because, in another year or 2, if Como still rising and doing well, what's stopping Fabregas from taking over at Arsenal?
Yeah, Junior, you brought up a very good point regarding Cesc. And Cesc stock will continue to rise if this team Como continues to do well. They outperform a lot of expectations this year. Some of the traditional teams, Torino, Udinese, Genoa in the Scudetto. And it's not just Arsenal and Arteta have to watch them head, aka be careful if Cesc is still rising. You have Chelsea, who Enzo Maresca has to be careful, and you have Football Club Barcelona and Hansi Flick has to be clear. So all these managers who sit down there and win the big year's trophy. And if Cesc Fabregas stock continues to rise, watch out. Also big up Cesc and Como for taking a chance, and Dele Alli. I wish them well this season, this off season. Hopefully Dele Alli can, get in an off season and do some work and hopefully play some ball next year, because he's trying to resurrect, trying to give it another shot,
Yeah.
Give that. Before we take ourselves from European football, there was a celebration at Santiago Bernabeu. Carlo, Don, Ancelotti, and Luka Modric and others bid their farewell. The most decorated coach in the history of Real Madrid family. I watched that presentation live. Carlo was very emotional, probably even shed a couple tears. 15 trophies. He says, I don't regret a thing. I've had a good time, end quote. 4 Champions League over 2 spells with this club. Don Carlo bidding farewell to Real Madrid family. Talk to me about this. I have so much respect and admiration for this manager.
Oh yeah, and he restored his career. I mean, you cannot talk about Carlo Ancelotti without the Everton spell.
Yeah.
We know what he was at AC Milan. We know that.
Yeah.
He had a couple other states, I think PSG and
So he
Chelsea.
was at Juve, Regina Parma, Juve, AC Milan, Chelsea, PSG, Real Madrid, Bayern, Napoli, Everton, and Real Madrid.
But that Everton state, though, kind of it talks to who he is. And he's a guy that just loves coaching.
Yes,
it's clear he's just a guy that loves to coach. And if you come to him with the right situation, and every coach, if you come to them with the right situation, but I think Carlo has more leeway on his right situations. than other big time coaches. And I have to respect him for that. I have a question though, as a Brazil fan, because we know Carlo. Look, his time at Real Madrid, highly decorated. And I think it goes without saying that he took over from Zidane that had all that success in a short space of time. And just like I said, with Allegri taking over from Conte, there was no other way for Allegri to go other than down at Napoli. There's no other way for Napoli to go. They're not winning Champions League next year. So they had their best season, or one of their best seasons this year in recent memory. It's a lot for Allegri to live up to if Conte really leave and if Allegri really take over. It's the same was said about Carlo at Real Madrid. With all of those Champions League titles that they have won with Zidane, for Carlo to step into those big shoes and to make those shoes even bigger is a big statement. It's a huge statement. So hats off.
Step in with shoes. Which shoes too big? Where's big?
Zidane, well, not Zidane shoes, because Carlo is a bigger coach than Zidane.
It's just following the consecutive Champions League success.
So the Real Madrid coaching shoes, not necessarily Zidane shoes,
yeah,
but the Real Madrid shoes. And he stepped into those shoes and made them bigger. Bigger. Because he took that generation that Zidane had, replenished the generation, and continued with the success. They didn't have a dip. They didn't drop off in form. You can't argue the drop off was this year. But the carryover from Zidane to Carlo, there was no drop. And he changed generations. He arguably can even say he changed Galacticos. And there was no drop in form. That is a big statement. Big statement.
Yeah, but, man, I mean, you have managers and you have real managers, and Dan Carlo is one of those. I mean, across different generations of players, different eras of players. I mean, a man who played the game, you know, and of course success at all levels. So, and I think regarding the Everton statement, it's just I kind of get the vibe that this is just a testament to who he is. You know, he like I said, he loved coaching, and if an opportunity presents itself, there's no job beneath him, essentially. In fact, if Southampton have the right money, probably link him and talk to him, and there's no job beneath him, and that is Don Carlo Ancelotti. That is essentially who he is as a manager. And Champions League, now he goes on to the international level, different sort of landscape, essentially more managing personalities and managing players more or less. But I think that if this manager cannot get Brazil right, at least for the next person, then it's probably Brazil gone to the door, because he will bring in a certain level of respect, a certain level of authority once he walks into wherever. So that is yeah, big up Dan Carlo, big up Dan Carlo. Looking forward to see how he goes about it with Brazil.
But here's his first problem. You have to get Rodrigo right, because Rodrigo never voiced. I don't know what the hell is wrong with these young players, because they don't really have much sense in them head. Rodrigo came out last week or the week before and said, I'm tired of it. I prefer to play on the left wing. Basically, so I'm gone. I'm done in Real Madrid, right? Didn't say anything during Carlo's reign, because Carlo would probably choke him to death, right? So he respected the coach at that time by not saying anything about his position and where he plays. Now that the season is done, now that the coach has been announced that he's leaving, now I have the room, the space where I can voice my displeasure of how I am being deployed. However, that coach he just spoke about is now your national team coach. And the player that plays on the left wing is a national teammate. So where is Rodrigo going to play for Brazil?
Potentially, I think it's an easy. Well, I wouldn't say easier. It's just I can't find the right word for say. Because even if Rodrigo want to play up on the left wing, you have the player who are the fandangos over there, but you also have a better left winger who's going down the middle, who's probably ahead of, who's ahead of him playing on the left wing. So there's no way he can play on the left wing at Real Madrid. Now, I can see Dan Carlo. I know he has a lot of respect for Vinicius Jr., but I would hope he will check Vinicius Jr. If he's doing foolishness, I will sit you. That's basically what it is, I think. Because if he cannot do it, I don't expect anybody else to do it. And then if Rodrigo can be effective on the left, if Rafinha can be effective on the left, Savinho, I think with that Brazil front three, there's going to be more fluidity and more flexibility with a coach like Dan Carlo. No position no married to no man at the national team level. Even if Vinicius Jr. thinks that is, and his fan base thinks he is. That is my hope, at least.
Yeah, we will see. I think some revelations are coming.
Yep, always a transition. Xabi Alonso is the new man at Real Madrid family. Talk to us about what is expected, the shoe to fill. It's a big shoe, of course. Xavi, coach the under 14 at Real Madrid, coach Sociedad B, had a monumental success with Bayer Leverkusen, upsetting the big dog. Almost won the treble by going, they lose one game last year, and that was the game against whatever in the Europa League final.
Yeah.
So almost a special. Well, I guess it's still a special season. No, he takes on another animal.
Yeah, and he gets an easier start than it could have been, because he comes in now to fix a glorious problem. So all he has to do is be a manager and not a tinkerer. Come in, plug couple holes, trim off couple fat from certain places, and we'll continue to train as we're going, right? I think that's the job right now. We will see how he does it, but he has to make sure he walks that line, because you don't want to cut too deep into the squad, but you also don't want to cut too shallow into the squad, because you have to earn the players' respect. So it's an easier job than it could have been, but it's still a tough job for him.
Yeah, and remember now, I always, with managers going to Real Madrid, I've always said that this job is probably one of the most difficult jobs in football. And with that being said, not because you come in with a lot of fanfare means that you're going to given a lot of opportunities to fail. And a job like this can ruin people's career. We saw Julian Lopetegui leading up to that World Cup, where he was on top of the world with Spain, take the Real Madrid job, and then where's the rest is history. What, Wolves, West Ham, are they same a coach now? They not want him.
He's not coaching anywhere right now.
So I think, I don't know if you get Julian Lopetegui one side, he probably said, boy, if I could do it all over again, I would stay at the Spain job, because he had Spain in a certain high-flying foot. So Xabi Alonso knows this environment, former player, so he will have to make sure that he knows the fire that he stepped into. We're looking forward to see how he goes about it, because it's not an easy job. And the first task I had is replace Luka Modric. We spoke about Dan Carlo leaving, but family, quickly, Luka Modric, 2 minutes. What a player, what a career.
Bala. We spoke about it last week. We are comparing him with Mueller, and if Luka would have been Luka, Madrid would have been Madrid if he had went to Real Madrid, if he had never left Tottenham, or if he had went somewhere else, or if who was the coach at Real Madrid at the time? It wasn't Jose. Was it Capello?
I don't even remember. I'd have to look it up. I will tell you in a few minutes.
But whoever that coach is that believed in him and gave him that opportunity, and to see that player develop into what he is right now, what that shows to me is you just need to be in the right environment. Every player to maximize their potential, you have to be in the right environment to foster your growth, because that is Luka Modric to me.
Jose Mourinho was the coach there in 2012. He transferred there in 2012, so it's 13 years. Paul Pogba sends message to departing Real Madrid star Luka Modric. Junior, I just brought up this name. What is Paul Pogba doing these years?
Telling lies about European teams that want him. He should have been in MLS by now.
That's a name that fell out of the sky. Do we expect Paul Pogba to be with our club this year? To be back playing football?
If he can prove his fitness, yes. I would have thought that I think Pogba will sign with a club. If he's going to play in Europe, he'll sign with a club within the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
Get in the preseason squad, get training, prove your fitness, and hit the ground running. If not, look for him in MLS. The funny thing is, with him being Muslim, Saudi didn't kick the tires on him, which is kind of...
Dwight York in a Goal article is claiming here, and we'll get away from Luka Modric, but saying that Paul Pogba returned an option for Man United after being harshly treated as a French midfielder seeks football redemption. Is that a legitimate thing? This is according to Dwight York.
Where does Dwight York work in the capacity of Manchester United to be able to give this kind of exclusive?
Yeah, he's a legend on the club. Figure he has inside information.
He's just a fan. No, Paul Pogba doesn't fit at Manchester United right now.
He says, I don't think United can afford not to consider a move for Pogba because he's coming back with a point to prove. Okay, all right. All right, let's see. Watch the space. But Luka Modric, outstanding, stellar career with Real Madrid. What a good baller, wherever you end up. Where is Luka Modric going next, family? Anywhere?
Yeah. I think Luka is going home.
To Dynamo Kiev, that Croatian team that...
He can play the football. He might even go in coaching.
Okay, let's watch the space we got. Luka. Luka we could have definitely used Luka Modric in Atlanta. Now to the Jamaican Premier League, family. Cavalier secured their 4th JPL title, second on the trot. I enjoyed the final. I did enjoy the pre-match discussion, pre-match talk from Cavaliers manager Rudolph Speid, aka the lawsuit man. He didn't mince his words. He spoke candidly. And at the post-match press conference, him saying, "Done being nice." He thought he was one of the nicest person in all of football, aka Jamaican football, that is. But people have been throwing dirt or stabbing at him, to paraphrase. And I just want to deal with... Junior, he says this victory is for the local people. It's for, it doesn't matter if we have 5 or 6 or 10 fans or 800. It's for our fans, but it's also for the small clubs. Because Cavalier did it organically. They didn't bought or transfer a lot of players like some people. And they built youth players who have been growing with them. 80% of their squad, I think was the quote, are players that came through their youth system. Yo, the man, a burn a fire and him not care at this pre and post match press conference. Talk to me about Rudolph Speid and Cavalier's accomplishment.
I think there's something. I think there's something more. I think there's something more brewing with Rudolph Speid. I don't know. I don't know what caused this change in character. I don't know what caused this change in personality. I don't know if it's the. Let me word it properly. Because the petty person in me was going to say that his experience of Mascherano and Messi twice kind of gave him the confidence that he has right now. That's just being petty. But something happened this year that made his personality change. And I don't care if you are Speed's best friend. I'm not going to talk about the family, but if you are his best friend, he's confident, I couldn't care too crap about who you are to him. But for me, his personality changed. Because the Speed that I know is a very quiet person, unassuming. We even cracked jokes on him at the start of the season saying that
we need some personality. We used to joke say boy the money are boring. We need some personality.
I try. But no, for some reason, look.
And I love it. I like this version.
We all love it. No, it just hit me. JFF just came off funding restriction. They just brought in the young social media group, right? Remember that social media group that came in and did the press conference?
Yeah, big up Tanya Lee. We don't reach a ball shot yet.
and they are going for a social media footprint.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
I'm sure they sat down and spoke to the JFF brass and spoke to them about the importance of being a personality and having an online personality. And this might be what it is. Rudolph Speid might be buying into creating that persona, that public persona out there. And which, look, is good for Jamaican football because Rudolph Speid is now saying, I am on top of the mountain. I know I'm on top of the mountain and nobody can hit me off the top of the mountain. And he's signaling it. He's not hiding behind anybody, hiding behind anything. So that's great. Hats off to him. Big you up for that. That's all I'm asking for now is, now that you put a target on your back, drop the defamation lawsuit. and let's not try to talk one way and shoot the other way. No.
You have stakes in you have shares in knockings.
Yeah,
knockings are bridging.
But you can't come out and put yourself out there on Front Street and then complain when darts start get shown at you. You can't do it.
Big up to the all the YouTubers that cover the Jamaica Premier League. Knockins doing a wonderful job. Baller Foot, big up yourself. Excellent interviews all the time. Man, them do some good work. MG Sports. Yo, if it wasn't for them youth here, sometimes we don't get no inside information on the JPL. And that is excellent work from them. So them youth that subscribe to them channel, Knockins MG Sports YouTube channel. Regarding Cavalier, I like this personality. We always know say Rudolph Speid sneaky. Well, for lack of better word. Him go on like him can't mash ants. Where Granny used to say you'll sleep on mat dead or whatever. But but we know says a brother who wields a lot of power in Jamaican football. But the personality that I'm seeing in front of the camera, the talking, especially the pre-match, he pretty much said in the pre-match presser, when asked, when qualified the final, him saying they really care about feelings, our business this. and him still maintain this position that Mount Pleasant broke the rules. But them rule what them want to rule, aka the organization rule how they rule, but he still maintained this position. So even after saying all of that, they went out and followed up and won the trophy. And that, to me, is just something. Donald said it best the other day. Donald said, I love this coach. And Donald said he loved this coach from the vantage point of the fact that not only he said what he was going to do, but then they follow up and do it. And that is the thing where I try to wrap my head around, like, what going on at Mount Pleasant? And yes, they won it on penalties, but at the end of the day, they still won it.
Yeah.
That is impressive. Because that, what Carlo used to say, that takes cojones.
Yep.
That takes cojones. Absolutely. So big up to Cavalier. Caribbean champions now join Santos, who won 4 straight Jamaica Premier League from the 73 to 74 season. Big Bad Reno, who won the 89-90 and 90-91 season. Arnett Gardens, who were champions 2001, 2002. And Portmore United, 17-18 and 18-19. Those are the, so it joins an elusive club, an exclusive club, not elusive club, of teams that repeated as JPL champions. And that is in itself an impressive accomplishment by Cavalier. Watching this ball game Friday night, I kept saying to myself, this Cavalier team reminds me of the 90s Clive Duncan Cavalier side, which never really won a lot of titles, if any, if I can remember clearly, but is always an annoying football team to play against. They will never die. It's like you can never get rid of them. It's like cockroach. You kill one, you kill two, they keep coming. And I remember many times my Reno team used to battle Cavalier, and then Cavalier somehow find a way to clip wings at the end. And that was something that became evident throughout this final Friday night. Now, that aside, Mount Pleasant was wasteful. Coach Tapper Whitmore said, congrats to Cavalier on the victory, but we were wasteful. We missed a lot of opportunities and blah, blah, blah. And he said he knew once it went to penalties, ultimately it was just going to be up to chance. And any thoughts on Mount Pleasant season? Is it a failure? Any thoughts on Mount Pleasant? They won the regular season, but of course lose a big prize.
I don't know how. Look, them. It's kind of harsh because it's not like Mount Pleasant was ordained to win the whole thing this year. I don't know where this Tapper under pressure thing come from, to be honest. Cavalier has always been the standard bearer in JPL, unless I am wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, Benton. Am I wrong for thinking that?
Well, standard bearer, so what is the metric for that? Is it what, the trophy? They're the defending champions.
Exactly.
But they won that title last year by some constituted as luck because of the fact that they eked out a victory. Mount Pleasant went in the transfer market. They called them the Man City of the Jamaican Premier League. Invested heavily. We discussed the Haitian players that they transfer. You do a video. We did a video recently where we talked about the snitching of. So the backdrop with all these things, and yet you still couldn't find a way to beat this team. If ever there's a time to beat a team, now is the time to really beat the team and say, shut up, go on back. But Cavalier somehow motivated their players and was able to, to take this victory.
The quality rose to the top. But Mount Pleasant ran out of gas. Ironically, went with Speid saying coming up that they were Mount Pleasant is the one that seemed like they were running out of gas coming up, but Speid was the one that was saying Cavalier is the one that is running on fumes.
Yes, Speid definitely says that, yeah.
He did say that, but then Cavalier seems to be more battle tested, more hardy.
Yes.
When it
Yeah,
came to
battle. Yes.
So
Yes.
that was the difference. That was the difference. It's the experience of playing in the CONCACAF Champions League, and I think all of those kind of came into this forefront where if you are Mount Pleasant, you had to beat Cavalier and beat them convincing. You couldn't. There's no sneaking and winning. You had to really take them to the woodshed to beat them. And look, hats off to Speid. Look, we can have our own individual feelings about Speid. Hats off to them for winning this year again. And the way that they have won. Hats off to them. Hats off to them. And more pleasant, you know, to go forward and do it again next year.
Yeah, what? Do it again and get and reach the final and get to beat that again.
Have to try.
Mount Pleasant coach Theodore Tapper Whitmore, some statements coming out from the Mount Pleasant camp after this game. One, highlight a couple statements from Tapper and his coaching staff, Davian Ferguson in particular, the assistant coach of Tapper. Of course, we know that Davian was, who had a job at Portmore, right? And at the beginning of the season, and when Tapper returned as the manager, then Tapper said need him coach, and so subsequently he returned. But Tapper Whitmore says it's a hard pill to swallow. Quote, it's a hard pill to swallow. We dominate the proceedings from start to finish, but what let us down today, we can't put the ball in the back of the net. Once it went to PKs, it was always a gamble, but I'm proud of the players and congrats to Cavalier. But if you play a game and don't score, anything can possibly happen, and we didn't put away our chances this evening. We were all over Cavalier. We kept one of their better players, Dwayne Busy Atkinson. So we came up short, and once it's a penalty shooter, it's anybody. As is for Davian Ferguson, you know, speaking to Knockins, big up, check out the video on Knockins. Davian Ferguson said, like, you know, maybe there needs to be a reassessment of how this league is format, what's the format of the league. And the notion is that the team that dominated the regular season doesn't win the title. And for the Mount Pleasant, at least from Davian's perspective, assistant manager of Mount Pleasant, he felt like, you know what, this is not necessarily, I don't want to say it's fair, but it's not a reflection of the better team over the entire season. And Rudolph Speid kind of spoke to that. Rudolph Speid spoke to that, said everybody knows that why there are two segments to this season, this league. There's a regular season, and of course it was a regular season round robin games. They wouldn't, aka Cavalier, wouldn't have won. But they know that there's another place where there's a playoff, and anybody can find form and win the playoff. Any thoughts on the structure of this league? Should it be changed?
No.
As so desired by these the people in Mobasa.
I need to shut up, man. Because if Mount Pleasant didn't win, we would have never be having this conversation right now.
And it's not the views of the Mount Pleasant club, you know. So we just want to make sure that clear now. It's the assistant manager, Davian Ferguson, who said.
No, I get that. But if Mount Pleasant had won, we wouldn't be having this discussion right now. So, look, you look in the European leagues, so you have two formats of competition, not only football. In Europe, they have the league format and they have a cup format that is independent of the league. In America, you have the league format that matriculates into a playoff format. Which was right, which is wrong, is like asking somebody, do they prefer metric or they prefer the imperial system? It doesn't matter. Just pick one. This is the format that we're in right now. Because next thing you're going to hear is, well, you know, Mount Pleasant win the league championship, but Cavalier win the cup. So who is the best team? Who is the best team in JPL this year? What we're going to say no? No, we're supposed to have one format so we can determine who the best team is. Man, shut up, man. Just take it as it is. That's the league. That's the format of the league. That's how you play it. If you have any sense, forget about becoming number one in this. Just qualify for the playoffs healthy and go into the playoffs and win the playoffs. Nobody can talk to you after that. That is your out. You think Liverpool winning? So Liverpool win the Premier League, right? Crystal Palace can come out now and say, well, you know, we are the best team in England because we win the FA Cup. You think them can say that?
But yeah, congrats to Cavalier. Big up to Danny Dredd. Danny Dredd said, I think Tampa lose because he did not start a striker like Edwards. And yeah, there will be some question asked about Tampa's decision making and coaching tactics. Did he get out coached, Junior, by Rudolph Speid in this game?
No, because they still created chances.
Okay. I guess as a manager, that's all you can do, right? Try to put people in places to get opportunities to score, and then hopefully they will kind of execute. Congrats to Cavalier. Let's see if Cavalier can pull a three-peat on this thing. Big up to Michelle. Michelle said, big up ball chat. Congratulations to Cavalier. But an excellent accomplishment. I can't emphasize it how much I am impressed with what Rudolph Speid and Cavalier has done. And me know I have concerns and questions about, you know, Rudolph Speid's role in JFF, but that's another side of thing. To have a target on your back and still be able to execute and win the JPL, I thought with the fact that these players came through the system is a monumental achievement. So BM says, good point, Junior. Speid managed his squad well, just do enough to make it to the playoffs and peak then. Yes, excellent point. And I think the point that you made about that CONCACAF Champions Cup, those matches being battle tested. You play against, you know, the Inter Miamis of the world. You know, when you return to play against Sully, Makala, and then Monday, you probably say, yo, if I put a shift against Mount Pleasant, I can win this game. Big up to Dwayne Busy Atkinson, probably one of the best players in the Caribbean, maybe if not the best player. We're looking forward to see Busy if he will lace them up for the Reggaeboyz. I know he's struggling with a knock. All right.
Yeah. Big up Michelle. Michelle, so congrats to Cavalier.
Yeah. Reggaeboyz news now. Reggaeboyz news. The team for this Unity Cup was announced, family. The coach spoke at length, Steve McLaren spoke at length about the squad and the reason why he went with so many local players. He said, to paraphrase, he wants to see if these players can handle these different circumstances, these different conditions. He's looking for progress from the JPL players, which is one of the first time I ever, in recent memory, I've heard a manager spoken so openly about the JPL players and the players that he have selected. He selected 10 JPL players, and he says, you know what, because of limitations, because of who we can pick, it gives us the opportunity to have JPL players in the squad. Because of the local camps that we had in January and February, because of this inclusion of the players with the St. Vincent games, he's looking forward to see progress from these players. Progress is the emphasis that he spoke at his pre-match press conference, family.
Yeah, and I really hope, this is my hope right now. My hope right now is this search for progress, this message was delivered at the start of the season, because he was there for the start of the season, or during the season, or the start of his reign as Jamaica coach. I really hope he gave the players something to work towards, and not, we have some games coming up where the players them will want to pick, them say them tired, so we don't have another chance of pick one. It would be nice if that message was delivered early and said, look, Jamaica cannot play football without a good local contingent. Work towards this goal. Here's what I want you to work towards, right? And then let us see what we get at the end of the season. Now, if that opportunity wasn't taken then, hopefully, this point forward, the opportunity will present itself, where the players now know there's a pathway to get into the Jamaica national team. Because I really do believe, we talk about being battle tested, we talk about playing. There is nobody you're going to pick out of any UB40 club out in Europe that is ready to play for Jamaica, in Jamaica, over these JPL players. Nobody. None. Nobody. Mason Greenwood will have to go through some form of acclimatization period playing at the national stadium when you have a bunch of forwards that will have to go through that. So if you could give them something to work towards, something that is measurable and attainable, and they can achieve it, then no, instead of trying to get players to be acclimatized to your home, you get your home players to be acclimatized to play at somebody else's yard that everybody else you have to go through anyway. That just makes more sense to me, Benton. And it's not that hard. It's not that hard. You're not asking for Jamaican players to be like Pele. They're not asking for them to be like Cristiano Ronaldo. It's real simple. Brother, be able to run a mile in 4 minutes. If you can run a mile in 4 minutes, you can play for me at the national team. Be able to kick a ball 40 yards on a dime. These are the things you need to work on. Be able to play the ball from out the back. The goalkeeper pass the ball to you, you're on the right, you're on the center back, you can spread out to the far wings, you can get the ball, you can look up, you can pass the ball under pressure and put it to a man's foot. We can measure those things in JPL. We're not going to measure you based on what happened with that pass, because you might have passed to somebody who can't play the ball when you play to them. But we are not going to put you in a position where the player getting the ball is not capable of getting the ball. Show me you can do those little things, because this is what I am looking for in the national team. That's all what for the best.
Set measurable goals. Set measurable goals.
That's hard.
And of course, I mean, it's important for asking those questions, but I am optimistic when I heard him say that he's looking for progress from the JPL players, and also most importantly, because run through the squad real quickly. Goalkeepers: Shaquille Davis, Benjamin Williams, Tafari Chambers are the goalkeepers. Defenders are Richard King, Mason Holgate, Dexter Lambegisa, Kyle Ming, Amari Bell, Greg Lee, and Stephen Young. Midfielders: Isaac Hayden, Casey Palmer, Brandon Cover, John Russell, Daniel Green. Daniel Green didn't play too well the other night, but he scored his penalty for Mount Pleasant. Didn't really stand out for me, but again, here's an opportunity. The forwards are Dwayne Busy Atkinson, Ronaldo Cephas, Warner Brown, Romarin Burrell, Kahim Dixon, and Javon East. Warner Brown is a baller I am excited to see whenever Jamaica play. And we saw the youth look hungry, and we've seen it we saw it in the JPL, and we saw it at the national level against St. Vincent. He was very instrumental in the second game, the game to get that penalty. He was instrumental in the first leg against St. Vincent. Now against other competition, I want to see Warner Brown gets valuable minutes. Now with Dwayne Busy Atkinson, I don't know, the health status of him, because I know he's struggling with a knock. But if he can play, I want to see, because we know Busy is a baller. Him can play ball. Ronaldo Cephas, Kahim Dixon, another opportunity to take some steps. John Russell back in this fold. The midfield position is something that we need to figure out fast. So these games against Trinidad and Tobago and potentially Ghana or Nigeria in the final, huge football games.
Yeah, huge for us to say, because how many positions would we say that how many positions do we think is set in stone? How many players, if we were to say
How many players, how many positions are locked? The goalkeeper lock.
That's it. And Pinnock, probably Pinnock.
Ethan Pinnock lock. That's it. At least for me, those are the lock positions. Now, maybe the coach will say otherwise. The Damari Gray lock.
We know Leon Bailey are there did those positions.
Bobby Reed lock. But I don't think those are lock positions.
I wouldn't say Bobby Reed is locked. No.
I think for me the lock positions are the goalkeeper and the centre back, one of the centre back in Ethan Pinnock. And I said with Ethan Pinnock is that because Ethan Pinnock to me provides a level of calm and maturity and responsibility when he plays centre back. So it doesn't matter essentially who you pair him with. He will make sure that the person is properly covered. But all the other positions should be up for valuable competition, healthy competition, and build depth. And of course, I would mind say Shaquille Davis or the backup goalkeepers get some valuable minutes in these games also, because we know Andre Blake is Andre Blake. I mean, we know what we are get from him, and we also have to make sure that we build with depth.
Yeah.
Unity Cup this week, Trinidad and Tobago versus the Reggaeboyz. And any keys for you? What you looking forward to this football game for Goma Yard family?
I just want the rotation. I don't want to see you bring 10 JPL man and none of them to play. No. Give them a game, man. At this point, it doesn't matter. The Trinidad result doesn't matter. You're not... You don't care. You're going to play against an African team next, right?
Yeah, so, you have to play Nigeria or Ghana, one of them in the final.
So it don't matter. Play for Trinidad, play the local man them. Give them a run and look at them and say, this is your opportunity. Gold Cup and World Cup qualifiers is a couple weeks away. This is your opportunity. You have 90 minutes. Go out there and show me that you can make the squad and play over some of the UB40 man them. And they look on the UB40 man them the second match and say, this is 90 minutes. Go out there. You saw what the players them do against Trinidad. Go out there and show me why I should spend money and fly you in to Gold Cup and World Cup qualifier when we can use that baller who live on the island. And put it out there and let the man go out there and compete. That's what me want to say. Benton, I am in Watch-Along Farm, Benton. I am in Watch-Along Farm.
Hey yo, me ready. I ready. The pot cover, the Hennessy, the rum. Let me talk about Hennessy. The rum ready up. I am in Champions League Farm also, and Watch-Along Farm also. So we potentially, if I have a feed for the Unity Cup game on Saturday with the Reggaeboyz, we'll run it. Not sure about the Wednesday game with Trinidad and Tobago. That game is scheduled to kick off. I'm saying 7 p.m. England time.
The 7 p.m. England time, that's 2 o'clock our time.
Yeah, 2 o'clock our time. We are there.
I know Wednesday after the office, man.
Yeah, we will not be covered. We don't have to watch along for the Wednesday game.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to come home early Wednesday. And if we can find the feed, we'll do it.
All right, see it there. Before we step away, Coach Steve McLaren was asked about Ravel Morrison, and Steve McLaren had a few things to say. He says, quote, "I love Ravel. I worked with him for a year in Derby. there would be nothing better for him to be picked. You can't live in the past. We're living in the now and we're building for the future. When I look around at the players, the first thing I say is, what league are they playing in? What is the quality of football they're playing in? He went on to say, I said to him that we need you playing in a tough competition where you can get up to standard, where you're demonstrating week in after week. The Dubai third division is not of that standard. There's no way that I can even watch him on video. There's no way I can even see him because the Y Scout doesn't have football. Therefore, I don't know that level. I have nothing against Ravel. We get on very well, but I have got to be honest with him, and I've got to be honest with everybody. It's about the now and where you're playing and what standard you're playing at now, end quote.
I have a problem.
So then if I'm honest with we, which I presume this honesty, I don't necessarily know if he's honest with us regarding Mr. Greenwood then.
I love his honesty. I love his honesty. But Mr. McLaren, maybe we are too old school. Maybe I'm too old school, but I'm going to say it. With your philosophy, Ian Goodison would have never existed. Let that sink in. With Steve McLaren's philosophy, Ian Goodison would have never existed. Remember, Ian Goodison was plucked out of the third division at Olympic Gardens by Rene Simoes. Based on what McLaren said, you're
in fine form today, Junior.
I'm telling you,
you're in watch along season start of. Not only are you making very good points, but you bring in receipts.
I'm ready.
Because I share some of the sentiments regarding the third division, but then when you bring up this Ian Goodison point, I have to step back and reassess the scenario, the situation.
How would you find a gem? A gem, you don't find a gem playing top league. You find a gem playing at some obscure places. And you say,
but brother, this is money I play UAE third division, brother. UAE third division, as talented as he is.
It look bad. I get it. But
yeah, I can't even know if I find the football game that the man said.
That is the problem. Right there, so is the problem. Right there, so is the problem.
The man says not even on the Y Scout.
Hold on. Every Ravel Morrison fan out there, try understand this point. Your coach just said, I am not flying over there for go watch the match. Your coach just said, I am not flying to the United Arab Emirates to go watch Ravel Morrison play a game. Your coach just said that. If you can't give me video for me watch, I don't care about you. That's what your coach just tell you. So forget about it. Just forget about Ravel Morrison right now. And the coach basically said what he said. I am only taking big league ballers. No. With that being said, I think there's a slap in the face to the big league ballers them out there, because JPL never just turned a big league overnight. So for McLaren to know, have those games that he played with the UB40s, for him to now know the talent pool is not good enough. Now I need to extend where I'm looking for players. I'm going to look back somewhere that is easily accessible, that will never give enough respect. The JPL. So that means now, such man that want to fly in and thinks that them a big time baller, your coach don't see it that way anymore. These are simple derivation of points. I don't want to say facts. Derivation of opinions based on what I just heard. Because if a coach said, I only respect the big leagues, there is no need to bring in any local footballers. None. But what that tells me right now is the big league ballers, them not living up to the standard. So now we have to lower my sights because uno would think we're a big baller, we're not making it. Now I have to go over here so I find the gems and lower my expectation of what a big league is. Because this might be the big league, but the players I'm getting out of it are not big league players. So we need to look elsewhere. Hey, yo, unity.
I hope he holds true to it. I can only take him at his word, and I like the attitude. I like the sentiment, and I also will say this equally though. I definitely value the point that you made. It's a big point regarding Olympic guards and Pepe. I am convinced that he must have a player in mind to play that role already. I mean, yes. Steve McLaren. He must have somebody with showing up in this cup or the next tournament, who's gonna be sliding in that role. Because the call for Ravel is centered around the fact that this spot, as we kind of deem it, that 10 role, seems to be severely missed. So he must have his eye on somebody. So this Unity Cup game, let's see.
Yeah.
And you don't get many opportunities after this Unity Cup game. After this game now is real ball games, meaningful ball games, World Cup qualifiers, which is the most important, and then you go into the Gold Cup. So, Danny Dredd says, yes, that makes sense. Play at least 6 against TNT and bring on some as sub. Big point. I think the big point is regarding the Ian Pepe Goodison point and the point about, man saying that my video, brother. BM says Jamaica need to get over this love affair with Ravel. We have tried Ravel experiment before and it failed. He's playing at an even lower level now at 32. There must be some young talented midfielders in Jamaica or the diaspora we can invest in. Ravel is not it. I thought one of those midfielders that we should have looked to is Sully Makala, but after seeing Sully Makala in the JPL final, and I saw Sully Makala miss a sitter against St. Vincent, I don't know if Sully is ready for the video light, brother. I don't know if he's ready for the video light. Final episode of Ball Chat Weekly for this season, this football season. This is it, family. This is it. Watch along season right now. We pivot Reggae Girls watch along coming up on June 2nd or June 3rd against USA. We did the squad last week. Reggaeboyz watch along Champions League watch along coming up this week. This is it. This is our time of year to sit down and watch some football together as a community,
Yeah, man. So little bit, Carl, I've cut out.
Champions League prediction before you go, before you take away yourself. 1. Inter Milan, is it no or why not? Or PSG, if not no, when?
I'm going to change every day. But right now I'm leaning towards Inter this year. Inter.
Champions League watch along this Saturday. Reggaeboyz watch along this Saturday. Line up on yourself. Big up to all the family. Smash the like button. Share. Tell a friend about the show. Big up to all the Chelsea fans. Big up to all the Reggaeboyz fans. Big up, big up, big up. Come on. Love out the road. Big up to the family. Big up on yourself. We're going on the road. Time for take over yourself. One love family.
Yeah, later.
Bless
more.